to the Western Cape, where the ANC National Working Committee is meeting the Western Cape structures. The NWC, led by Party President Cyril Ramaphosa, is assessing the state of the organization in the province. I understand now we have the General Secretary of the party that is engaging with the media. Let's take you there.
Western Cape to look at, in the main, the state of organization and how to address the challenges the comrades are faced with and to strengthen the ANC in the Western Cape. So we are now getting reports from the visits which we conducted throughout the length and breadth of the province. We visited all the regions and we interacted with the structures, branches of the ANC, and led by the president, who was deployed in Bulelani region. And I think he was there with the chair of the province. And all of us were in different regions. Our visit was preceded by a funeral for the stalwart of the African National Congress in the Western Cape, Comrade Teresa Solomons, a former ambassador, first mayor of Cape Town, a dedicated liberation fighter in the Western Cape, a revolutionary indeed. So she was given a special official funeral category 2 by the provincial government of the Western Cape, and we are grateful for that, given the role that she played in the struggle for liberation in our country. And we then interacted with branches who gave us reports, and we are currently processing those reports. And tomorrow the working committee will meet to reflect on the reports and charting the way forward to strengthen our organization here in the province. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SG. I am going to take questions, if any. Yes, my brother.
Bulelani from SABC. Just SG, on the MK party approaching the Constitutional Court on the issue of self-autonomy, can you respond as the ANC? And secondly, again, on the MKP's recognition of the Morocco occupation of the Western Sahara?
The recognition of Morocco by Jacob Zuma is not a surprise. Jacob Zuma represents everything that is wrong. That is pursued by sellout. And that's what it is. We as the ANC, we will fight side by side for the self-determination of the Sahrawi people. We are in solidarity with them, and Morocco must stop the occupation of Western Sahara. Zuma is no messiah. He's a sellout of note. For whatever reason that he's doing all of this, it's no surprise to us. The very decision to steal the assets of the ANC to form a political party and call it what it is, to divide our people, weaken the African National Congress for his own personal aggrandizement, is what he has been. He will be remembered for that by history. We will not comment on the shenanigans and attempted anarchy that failed, and that was rejected by the people of South Africa. Law-abiding and people who love this country and uphold the rule of law will understand that what the president has done to process the allegations that were made is the correct thing to do by a sitting president in a constitutional democracy, which is what President Ramaphosa has done, and that's what we as the ANC support. That What has been raised by the general is now receiving full attention and is being attended to. And South Africans must not forget that such things do and have happened in the past. You will remember the Bulelani saga under President Mbeki, when he was accused that he's a spy. There was a commission of inquiry. When there was Marikana, the same Jacob Zuma, who's encouraging people because of his hatred for President Ramaphosa, encouraging people to march in vain for nothing, established a commission under Marikana, which decided that Ria Pierre, as a commissioner of police, must actually step aside. President Ramaphosa has done that in the constitutional democracy to investigate, to establish the root cause of this, and when the commission come with its recommendations, the president will be expected to implement. The same Jacob Zuma, who's marching today, established a commission for General Cele. General Cele was removed as a commissioner of police precisely because of allegations that were made, a matter that was overturned by the court, a commission that Zuma established, which was chaired by Judge Mbalula. So this is nothing new. And if anyone has got an alternative option, I've heard people saying, we have heard, like all South Africans, that the easy route is for people to be arrested, but you don't arrest people without evidence. This is not a banana republic. Things must be processed, and then once processed under the principles of our jurisprudence that guide us, then on the basis of that, you then charge at individuals, and at the same time the law will then prevail. So there are no shortcuts to this, and this commission has got broad terms of reference to look at the policing in our country and all the allegations and what can be done. After every 3 months, we'll get a preliminary report with specific recommendations, but equally the commission can make recommendation on anyone, on anything, whilst it is in session. That's what is encouraging, and matters now are before the commission, and they will then be processed in that particular context. We support the upholding of the rule of law.
Very much, my sister.
Thank you. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News. Mr. Mbalula, a big vote on the budget appropriation bill coming up in Parliament this week. Are there discussions with your GNU partners to make sure that this doesn't stall? And then related to the Western Cape, this is a troubled province for the party. What have you picked up so far, if you can share perhaps what you have picked up from your engagements over the last 2 years?
Well, we have just started now. Of course, we are here with the sole and purpose not to do the blame game, to look at the state of the organization and strengthen the party. We are not the stress of parties in the Western Cape. And our preoccupation in terms of this visit is how do we make the ANC a viable alternative and a vibrant opposition in the Western Cape. And we can do that, and we'll do that, working hand in hand with our province here. Yes, of course, in the GNU, every item, like the passing of the budget, is a hurdle, and the engagement will be on with political parties between now and Wednesday in terms of ensuring that we pass the appropriation. And at the same time, we get the budget across. So we will be doing that, exactly that, between now and Wednesday.
You're not leaving it a bit late?
No, we are not late. We are not late. So as of now and today, we are talking to everyone So that's what is important.
Hi, I'm Theolin Tema from Independent Media. Mr. Mbalula, what do you make of criticism that there's selective application of the step-aside rule when it comes to censoring?
There's no such a thing as selective application of step-aside rule. Step-aside deals with everyone. Once you appear in court, the step-aside rule will apply. You are arrested, step-aside rule will apply. Here in the ANC, when last did you see people supporting each other like Casey and Jojo going to court with ANC t-shirts? Doesn't apply anymore. You get arrested, you stand on your own. Step-aside rule applies. Those who vulgarize things shamelessly will say that no, the step-aside rule doesn't apply to censorship. President have put censorship aside with immediate effect. Argue the question of how that has happened, but is aside. We've got an acting minister who's chairing the meeting here, inside. And I've explained to you, and I'm repeating it again, that Senzo will not step aside in relation to the ANC as an elected member. And he's got an opportunity now, in terms of the Audi principle, to also state the side of the story, of his story. Now, once we listen to that, it is also evaluated in terms of facts by a competent, independent judge and a panel, judicial commission, like the president have appointed. Then we can pass judgment. Let's allow the process to follow. This is what all South Africans look forward to. And then even ourselves, we're looking forward to that. So the principles of our jurisprudence allow that somebody's story must also be listened to. And if there's any wrongdoing on him and all of that, the ANC, in terms of its renewal process, things kick in. There are many ANC leaders and members who are on a step aside, who have appeared in courts, who have been arrested. We are the only party in South Africa that practices things even beyond the jurisprudence. Even Magashule failed to challenge the step-aside rule. It was affirmed by the Constitutional Court that there is nothing unconstitutional about the step-aside rule because it is entrenched in the ANC Constitution itself. So there is nothing like selective justice and at the same time selectivication of the rule of step-aside on ANC members. There is nothing like that. If you are arrested, you appear before the courts. Even before you appear before the courts, once you are arrested, you step aside. So there are many members of the ANC who have actually been affected by this rule. Nobody else. All political parties in this country, you get arrested, you still stay on as a member. They only apply presumption of innocence. They don't apply other rules. The ANC, presumption of innocence, but over and above that, in terms of our constitution, we implement the step-aside rule for members of the ANC who are facing challenges of being chased by law enforcement.
ENCA?
From ENCA. In Poland yesterday, your president was there. Some of the issues that were raised by the branches and the region are long-standing in terms of rebuilding the party in the Western Cape. Why is it difficult to get this task off the ground? And if the reports you are getting across all 6 regions are that you need to intervene, would you do that as the ANC?
We are here for that. Reports are being presented inside now as I'm speaking to you. Tomorrow we will meet and process decisions of what must happen in terms of the reports that come from the regions. We will. There are a number of things which I don't want to. We will give you a feedback about the outcome of that NWC. and the interventions we're going to make in the Eastern Cape. So there is definitely going to be action on issues that are raised to strengthen the African National Congress in the Western Cape.
Quick question.
Very last
Sophie would like to know if the meetings of the former liberation movements will continue.
The former liberation movement week is this coming week, and it's a big weekend. All the former liberation movements will be here. As you know that we are chairing the former liberation movements as the ANC. All presidents of MPLA, SWAPO, Chama Chama Pendus, ZANU-PF, African National Congress, Frelimo will be here. And the Secretary Generals will also be here, followed by the party leagues will all be here, and then to chart the way forward. So this coming weekend, the weekend enkulu kele kuthi singumbutho wesizwe olwela inguqu nedaba eMzantsi Afrika. So all liberation movements, not former, liberation movements will be here in Southern Africa. And also there will be other sister parties all over Africa, Algeria and so on. Will be here to attend the former liberation movement political summit. Thank you very much.
So just going ahead. Thank you very much, SG. Colleagues.
Wel graag sê vir jou en praat suiwer Afrikaans.
Thank you. Got your work out there.
Well, that brings it to an end, that briefing by the ANC Secretary General, Phillip Mbalula. Of course, they are doing the renewal of the Western Cape and taking the reports of the 6 different regions here in the province. And he says that the National Working Committee will then take decisions when it meets tomorrow on what should happen to these branches and regions. Of course, also clouded in there is the on-leave police minister, Senzo Mchunu, who is also attending this NWC meeting. Phillip Mbalula saying that he will not step aside, and as the ANC, they welcome the commission of inquiry that has been set up by the president. And he says that even the constitutional court challenge by the MKP is misguided because the president has actually followed the correct process of ensuring that they establish the facts around the allegations that have been raised by the KZN Commissioner General Khwanazi. On that note, we'll cross back to you in studio.
Right, that's Bulelani Phillip bringing us those conversations coming out of the Western Cape there as the ANC's National Working Committee gears up to engage with its structures in the province.